The army ants are like nature's unstoppable Mongol horde, constantly on the move, devastating everything in their path. There's no fighting them, only running and fast. When an ant colony is on the march, they rule the road, and anything standing in their way is doomed. Armed with razor-sharp, scissor-like jaws, known as mandibles, these ants don't just kill their prey, they dismantle it. As they tear their victims apart, they secrete a powerful acid that dissolves flesh, muscle, and tendons into a liquid. They then consume this liquefied feast and move on, relentless in their conquest. But how strong could these tiny creatures be? You'd be surprised. Take a look at this massive python that unfortunately slithered into the path of a swarm of army ants. To the ants, this intruder is a threat, and in an instant, the python is surrounded, attacked, and overwhelmed. The black army of ants moves like a dark, unstoppable tide, unified, disciplined, and organized. The python, at first dismissive of these small creatures, quickly learns its fate has taken a cruel turn. The ants launch into action, each one like a fearless warrior, charging at a beast many times its size. Their tiny jaws bite down with needle-like precision, piercing through the python's tough scales. Enraged, the snake writhes and twists in an attempt to shake off its attackers, but the ants persist. While some ants act as a distraction, others seize the opportunity to crawl into the gaps between the scales and strike at the python's most vulnerable spots. Bit by bit, the python's strength drains, and soon it is no match for the relentless onslaught. The mighty serpent is ultimately brought down by the tiniest of enemies. For creatures facing the army ants, the only hope of survival is to remain absolutely still. These soldier ants are nearly blind, distinguishing only between light and darkness. They rely on movement to locate their prey. When they send out a patrol to forage, if the scouts find food, they send a chemical signal back to the colony, triggering the full force of the swarm. Even prey that is many times larger than a single ant, like this beetle, 6 times the size, is helpless against an army. Some victims aren't devoured on the spot, but are carved into smaller pieces, dragged back to the colony like slaves building a pyramid. With enough ants working together, there's almost nothing they can't move.